But I want to challenge you to watch this video because you can stay there in fear and feel safe and feel comfortable, or you can live an amazing life. Because the truth is that you create your reality. Hi, this is Beth McGill, and welcome to Manifesting Your Heart's Desires. And this is a special series that I've created called Be Courageous. We're on episode 2, and this series is especially for those of you that might be newer to manifesting, maybe even a little bit skeptical. But I want you to know that manifesting isn't weird. Having a spiritual journey isn't scary, and transforming your life is not something to be afraid of. It might be new to you. These ideas might be new to you. This language might be not familiar to you. But isn't it fun to explore new ideas? Now, some of you might think, I don't know, I'm pretty comfortable over here living in fear. I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that, but I'm comfortable. But I want to challenge you to watch this video because you can stay there in fear and feel safe and feel comfortable, or you can live an amazing life. So please listen, because the truth is that you create your reality. Now, that's not a crazy statement. It's been proven by quantum physics over and over and over, and it started with Albert Einstein. So it's science, but most people don't want to embrace this truth because you create your reality. And most people simply don't understand it. But it's just something new. So are you ready to take in some new information and apply it to your life? And I'm here to help you and to guide you. Now, I want to give you an example. Some of you might have little children that you've taken to a swimming pool to learn how to swim, or perhaps you even remember the first time you went to the swimming pool and you were encouraged to dive off of a diving board. I remember how scary it was. The first time I even stood on a diving board, I just turned around and walked off. Like I wasn't going to do that. So think about it. Have you had that experience? Or maybe one of your children where they were up on the diving board, they didn't want to do it. Maybe they're like me and they walked back off. But then eventually they jumped in. So see, sometimes when we're first looking at an experience or doing something new, it seems really scary. But then once we do it, we want to keep doing it over and over and over again. Just like the child that once they jump off that diving board, they're running right back over to that ladder, climbing back up and jumping over and over and over. So I have some questions for you. Again, are you ready to take this new information and to apply it to your life? So I have 5 questions that I'm going to ask you to see if you're ready. Are you ready to say yes to yourself and to your expansion? And for this, I do have a quote, actually a couple of quotes I'll be reading from my book, Allow Life to Happen and Receive Everything That You Desire. So again, are you ready to say yes to yourself and to your expansion? Now, if this is all new to you, you might be saying, what do you mean, expansion? So I want to read this quote. This is by Mildred Mann, and she wrote this book called How to Find Your Real Self. And she wrote, you are not here to live a possibly 60 or 70 years, and for the most part of it, go through hell. You are here to create something in your life that only you can do for yourself. Only I can do it for me. Each one of us does it a little bit differently. Each one of us offers God a slightly different, unique experience as we begin to find ourselves. I love that quote by Mildred Mann. So again, Are you ready for your expansion? Are you ready to create something new, to say yes to yourself? If you are, then let's do this. Question number 2. Are you ready to follow your heart and your soul? Now, by following your heart, have you asked yourself recently, what do you really love, or what would you really love to do? Have you thought about that? I challenge you to think about that. What would you really love? And following your soul, maybe that's a new expression for you as well. Maybe you know that you have a soul, but you didn't know that you could communicate with it, experience it, and follow its calling. So here I have another quote, and this one is by Wallace D. Wattles from his book, The Science of Getting Rich. And he writes, "It is the natural and inherent impulse of life to seek to live more. It is the nature of intelligence to enlarge itself and of consciousness to seek to extend its boundaries and find fuller expression." So yes, are you ready to follow your heart and your soul? Number 3, are you open? Are you willing to open your mind to new thoughts and ideas? Are you open to examining your mindset? I challenge you to do that. If you're ready, great. Number 4, are you ready to allow yourself to feel uncomfortable? Feeling uncomfortable is okay. It's part of growth. Think of a plant. A plant is either growing or it's dying. It's easy to see that in a plant, but we're living beings, and it's the same with us. Either we're growing or we're dying. So for growth to happen, sometimes we need to feel uncomfortable. Again, you can stay safe and live in fear and be afraid, or you can allow yourself to be uncomfortable and allow yourself to grow. And number 5, are you ready to make a promise to yourself to be all in? Are you ready to be all in for your own personal growth and development? Now, it's easy for me to say, but you can trust me, because you see, I've done it. I have spent years in personal development. I've done all the reading and the research. These quotes I've given you, I've read these books. I've studied them. Like, I spent years doing this work. And I'm putting this information out there. I'm providing these YouTube shows. I'm posting, I'm putting out content because I love to do it. That's it. I love to teach the law of attraction and how to manifest. So I don't have any other motive except for I love sharing this information, because I know what it's like to be able to live where you have time and money freedom. And freedom is what it's all about. I love freedom to be able to do what I really love to do. And I want you to be there too. So one of the first things that we need to understand, if you're okay, if you're ready, if you said yes to those 5 things, let's do this. Now, one of the first things that you need to understand is something else that Albert Einstein said, and that is everything is energy. That's right, everything. That is the basics for quantum physics. So understanding that everything is energy, and then think about it. Your thoughts are energy. Your thoughts are energy. Now think about this one. 90% of the thoughts that you think in a day are repeated from the previous day. So 90% of what we're thinking about are the same thoughts that we thought about the day before and the day before and the day before. Isn't that amazing? So that means only 10% of what we're thinking each day is a new thought. Now, these thoughts that you repeat over and over and over create your beliefs, because that's all a belief is. It's a thought that you think over and over and over. And there's no one in your mind thinking for you, so you're choosing these thoughts. So the key to manifesting and being open to learn about manifesting is simply the word awareness. Now, the first thing to be aware of is your thoughts. What am I thinking of? Because these thoughts create your beliefs. So why do you believe what you believe? Dr. Bruce Lipton says, he wrote The Biology of Belief, and he says that 95% of your beliefs that you have today were taught to you by others. So think about it. You're born into a family. They teach you everything. So whatever your mother and father believed are your beliefs. That's what you've been taught from a child, from a baby. And then your family, wherever you lived, perhaps they took you to church. Depending on where you lived in the world, some of you were taught, we go to church on Sunday. Some of you, depending on where you were brought up, were taught, we go to church on Saturday. Some of you, maybe you went to church on Friday. That is a belief, like that's when you went to church. And then once you went to church, the pastors taught you what to believe. And then you went to school. And then the teachers taught you what to believe. And then society. Society has taught you through commercials and marketing and social media what you should believe. And you're bombarded with all of these pictures and information every day. So now is the time to ask yourself. Now is the time to observe these thoughts, these beliefs, and to question them. I say question everything. Why do I have this belief? What is it that I believe? Because right now, if you haven't been observing and 95% of what you believe has been taught to you from others, that means that only 5% of what you believe is really you. So ask yourself, challenge yourself over the next week. What do I really believe? What are my thoughts? Like, what am I doing? How am I living my life? Because these thoughts and this awareness of your thoughts is so important, because there is a direct correlation between your thoughts and what you're manifesting. That's right. Because depending on what thoughts you have a certain feeling or emotion. So a thought, I'm having a positive thought, I'm having a good emotion, whatever it is. If I'm thinking a hopeful thought, I'm going to have a hopeful emotion associated with it. And then that emotion inspires you to take a particular action. That action that you take provides a certain result. So that's the relationship. So we can easily look at the results that you're getting today and see, are these the results that you want in your life? If not, we go back and look at your thoughts, right? So I want to do an activity right now to help you, because in a minute, I'm going to ask you, I've already asked you a question, if you're willing to even look at your thoughts. But now, if you're not getting the results in your life that you desire, if you're not manifesting everything that you desire, then we need to go back and look at your thoughts. Do your thoughts have to change? Yes, because you're just going to keep getting the same results if you don't change. Now, that's a very big question, and it's not a question that I ask lightly, because it takes a commitment to change in order to have different results. So let's go ahead and do this activity first, because it's very telling. This activity, again, is from my book, Allow Life to Happen. And I'm going to ask you to rate yourself. I'm going to ask you to rate yourself from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest to 10 being the highest. So I'm going to ask you to rate yourself based on your gut reaction to how you're doing in these particular areas of your life. I want you to keep it with just your opinion. So when I ask you these questions, don't think about what someone else, like your maybe a spouse or a coworker or a friend, what anybody else thinks doesn't matter here. So you're going to rate yourself based on your own current personal satisfaction in each area of your life. So again, rating yourself from 1 to 10. Don't think about it too much. Just go with your gut. Number 1, how would you rate yourself from 1 to 10 in the area of physical health and well-being? How are you doing? 1, not very good. 10, I'm in great physical shape. I exercise every day. Write it down. Number 2, from 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself in the area of emotional well-being? Are you mostly happy, joyful, excited about every day, every moment of every day? That would be a 10. You get sad, depressed, overwhelmed. That's in the lower end. Number 3, rate yourself from 1 to 10 in your intellectual well-being. Are you learning every day? Are you reading books every day? How are you in your intellectual well-being? Again, it's your own personal satisfaction. Number 4, how would you rate yourself from 1 to 10 in the area of spiritual well-being? How well do you feel connected to God's spirit universe? Do you spend time meditating every day? Do you spend time in prayer every day? How would you rate yourself in the area of spiritual well-being? Write it down. And how would you rate yourself in the area of time freedom? Time freedom. Do you have time to do what you want to do? If you have all the time in the world, you're a 10. If you have a job, if you're constricted, if you feel like you don't have any time, you're a 1. And then the last one, of course, is financial independence, financial well-being. How would you rate yourself in that area of your life from 1 to 10? Make sure you have these numbers written down. They're important. Now, once you write these numbers down for each one of these areas, notice how it makes you feel. Observe the numbers. Were you able to be honest with yourself? Now, if you're a 10 in every area, you don't need to change, right? Because you're getting all the results in your life that you desire. You're manifesting everything that you want. But if there's an area of your life that is not a 10 or a 9 or an 8, and you need to make, or you want to make, a significant change in that area of your life, stay tuned, right? Because that's what I'm here to help you with. Only you can make that decision if you are ready to change. Because that's what manifesting is all about. We don't manifest something that we're not in vibration with. So I'm going to get more into that later when we talk about energy and vibration and frequency. But just know today that if you are not getting the results in your life and all of these areas of your life that you want, then our thought process has to change. And that means that we have to change. So I want to share with you one last quote. And this one is by R. Buckminster Fuller. And he says, listen carefully. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. So when we're talking about personal development, when we're talking about manifesting our heart's desires, it does take an element of being courageous, because change is not something that we're used to doing all the time. And this change is for you to get what you want in life. So what he's saying here is you don't change things by fighting the existing reality. We're not going to fight those thoughts that you have. We're going to create new ones. He says to change something, you build a new model. So we have to create this new model of thoughts and beliefs, ones that will be in alignment, energetic alignment to what it is that you want. So I trust that that makes sense. But change is something that does take an element of work. Like, it doesn't have to be hard. It's not a struggle, but it's having an open mindset. It's about having a faith-based mindset that says, yeah, I'm ready to go for it. Like, I want to change my life. I don't want the same things in my life anymore. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to move forward. I don't care what it takes. I'm tired of living in fear. I'm tired of it. I want something new in my life. That's who this series, Be Courageous, is for. Where you're maybe you were skeptical at first, but now you're seeing it makes sense. My thoughts create my feelings inspire me to take an action. My action gets me a result. If I want different results in my life, I need to change my thoughts and my thought process. But it's going to start right now for the next week or so by really examining and becoming aware of your thoughts. And when you think a thought or you think about a belief that you have, simply ask, is this mine? Like, do I want to own this belief? Or really think like, that was taught to me by my grandma? Like, is that what I believe? Or that belief was taught to me by my father or my teacher, or my brother. Someone taught me that belief. Is it truly mine? Is that what I believe? It's fun. Question this. Start to really see. And your mind is going to open up. Your mind is going to open up, and you're going to see that there are different possibilities. There are different perspectives in life. So take this time. If you said yes, if you're willing to say yes to yourself and to your expansion, if you're ready to follow your heart and your soul and to see what that even means, what does that look like? What are you talking about? Following my soul? I'll teach you. It's not scary. If you're ready to open up your mind to new thoughts and ideas, if you're ready to allow yourself to be a little bit uncomfortable, you can do great things. And are you ready to make a promise to yourself to be all in? To me, that means simply trusting me to be your guide and your mentor, to teach you a few things that society doesn't teach us. We're not taught this in school. So that's why when I found mentors like Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey, and I read all these amazing books by people like Wallace D. Wattles and Mildred Mann, it blew my mind. But people have been talking about manifesting and the law of attraction for thousands of years, all around the world. So I love teaching, and I want to be here for you. So stay tuned. There will be a Be Courageous episode 3, and we'll take it just a little bit further, right? I want to produce and give you this information in bite-sized chunks so that you can say, okay, this is the first step. I'm becoming aware of my thoughts, and I'm asking myself, why do I believe this belief? Why am I having this thought? And becoming aware, being curious, not skeptical anymore, but now being curious about how you can change your life in these small incremental steps. Have fun being curious, have fun being aware, knowing that you are doing an amazing thing for your life. All right, take care. We'll see you soon. Would you like some time to relax and have some me time over the holidays? Well, I'm offering you 3 free gifts. October 30th, November 30th, and December 30th, I am offering and gifting to you a 1-hour Zoom workshop. In October, it's going to be all about pampering yourself, getting yourself some time. I'll be offering a guided meditation. In November, it's about really some rejuvenation and taking some time for yourself during the holiday. And then December 30th, we're going to focus on really restoring and balancing your energy and getting you ready for a great 2024. So you can go to any of my social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and find the registration. I can't wait to see you there. Take care.